Sand is the biggest enemy of one of the most vital parts of every car, the clutch. And breaking a clutch is something you must be prepared for if you want to win or even finish the Dakar. That's why Mitsubishi has prepared a fast change system for clutch fixing in the middle of the special stage. Well, the first stage is to lift the car. They have an automatic onboard hydraulic jacking system to save time and effort. The technical director explains in these conditions the driver and the co-driver can easily work under the car and there's room and space to replace the clutch. Shall I throw away the old one, said Peter Hansel, with their problem? No, says Jean-Paul Cotteret, I've got to fix it back on. Why would you fix an old clutch back on to a car? Well, this is our external clutch. This is the spare. The clutch is installed on the gearbox and the spare is installed just behind the clutch. So the two clutches are attached together. With a simple rotation, you take one off, turn it around, and then you can fix the new clutch and attach the spare back on. Connect the hydraulic cable like that and the job is done. It can be done in 15 or 20 minutes, even in the desert. And that means there's now no longer any need to wait for a service truck, even if you blow a clutch. Janelle de Villiers, the overall rally leader, opened the batting on today's stage, heading out towards Elephant's Rock, this momentous monolith standing in the middle of the desert. Why does something like this get the name? There's the trunk, the ears and the body. And there's the leader. And chasing him, there's Stefan Peter Hansel. The Mitsubishis, who looked completely out of touch in Europe and Morocco, are really now coming into their own as Volkswagen hit problems. And it was to be the case today as well. The helicopter finds Janelle de Villiers with his car alight, an under-bonnet fire. Subsequently, it's turned out that a cam follower that broke punched a hole in the valve cover, oil escaped onto the turbocharger and caught light. The onboard fire extinguishers put it out, but of course at this stage the team were trying to find what the problem was. Their teammates stopped to try and help. A fire extinguisher just in case, and then Sainz heads off. Last year's runner-up sees any hope of victory draining away as the oil dribbles into the sand.
Unfortunately, it seems to be a big problem, you know. I don't think we can get going again. It was caught fire a little bit, so it looks impossible to repair at the moment, so we'll have to wait for the truck at the moment. There's nothing we can do, so it's a bit sad, but you know, this is racing, I suppose, and things like this happen. It's just very sad, you know, for Volkswagen, because we've been really doing well this rally, and the guys have put a lot of effort into to come to this point of performance, you know, and now something small lets us down. But anyway, we'll have to go and see what it is, and we'll have to try again next time.
His hopes of winning the rally in 2007 are certainly dashed. But what about Stefan Peter Hansel? Well, he'd taken the lead from de Villiers, but there was always the chance of a mishap on the stage. That was a close shave with an errant biker. And on some of the faster pistes, the car drivers particularly have to keep their wits about them. Surely not. Not again. But yes, another clutch failure. This will be what Mitsubishi remember, perhaps even if they do win the event. But again, another quick fix. Peter Hansel fixed and ready to go. Well, with Peter Hansel's problems and with the fast nature of a lot of today's running, can you guess the rest? Jean-Louis Schlesser, the man on the move. Schlesser's buggy again relishing the fast, flat sections of the piste, and there just weren't enough dunes to slow him down. He came through to win today's stage, but there was still more to be said behind. Luc Alphonse stuck on a crest for a moment there, catching Sainz and Miller. Mark Miller in the other Volkswagen. a bit of a decision about which route to take. They opt for different paths. Sainz going for it with both barrels blazing. Luke Alphonse said, having passed 2 stranded cars, he thought perhaps he ought to take things a little more easily. Sainz blows by. Alphonse gets out of the way, out of the dust, so he can see where he's going. And here comes Miller. Again on the flat open sections, it seems the Volkswagen just has a speed advantage the Mitsus can't deal with. Miller too blows by, and Alphonse is now 3rd on the road. But it's not over yet. Sainz grinds dramatically to a halt. An electrical failure leaves him stranded and stationary. Miller stops immediately. His co-driver is the best mechanic in the Volkswagen cars. Outside of the service crews, he knows more than anybody about fixing machinery. Alphonse goes by. I love it, says his co-driver. So, problems for Sainz, but can Pitchford fix them? Any garage mechanic will tell you tracing an electrical fault is the devil's own work. Miller decides perhaps they'll bump start the car. But despite his efforts, Sainz's car refuses to run. Now Matador himself is trying to find the problem as Carlos Sousa arrives. More willing hands, more keen eyes, but they still haven't found the problem. Now they're all losing time. Carlos says, we've got a problem and we're not exactly sure what it is. And there's nothing to be done. Another good day in the stage for Nasser Al-Attiyah. The BMW again running reliably and the Qatari driver revelling in the dunes. Robbie Gordon just outside the top 10 in 11th position after getting stuck in the sand again. But on the faster sections, he and the buggies like Philippe Gache here, the boss of SMG, really enjoying themselves. Their problem, of course, with two-wheel drive is as soon as you get to the soft stuff, the pace comes right down. And outside of the front runners, well, the problems continue. Catching a slower vehicle in these conditions, there's only usually one path through the grass, through the stones and through the rocks. Those falls are inevitable. And that is what soft sand does when you hit it. So after a stage which nobody, it seemed, eventually wanted to win, Jean-Louis Schlesser by 13 seconds from Luke Alphonse, a remarkable result after 500 kilometres of off-road racing. And look at the leaderboard. Mitsubishi's 1 and 2, the best of the rest is Al-Attiyah's BMW. Jean-Louis Schlesser said, we stopped in the sand because, of course, we've only got two-wheel drive, but I think we won this stage because everybody else had problems and we didn't make any mistakes, and in this sport, that's what counts. Well, you know, this marathon stage was very tough for everybody's vehicles because it was very quick. Stefan, for instance, had to change his clutch today. In the end, we managed to put in a good performance. We're happy. Today we got stuck on top of a little dune, lost a few minutes. But I think all in all, we chose a decent pace to bring the car to the end. And Stefan Peter-Hansel said De Villiers has had an excellent run, and today he suffered a fire that was no fault of his own. When we saw him stopped, we were happy, of course, because we moved one up in the standings, but on the other hand, I'm very sorry for him. He's had a great race. He really didn't deserve to end like that. After 100 kilometres, we again had a clutch failure, but my teammate Jean-Paul did an excellent job. He replaced the clutch in about 15 minutes.
Never we run in the test, you know, like this long stage, you know, because we don't know the cars very well, but it's okay. good. You know, we don't have any problems now. We try change many things. You know, because tomorrow it will be also a tough day.